Hey, welcome back to the podcast. This is an evolution of your higher self episode with myself and Melissa Alves. Today, we're talking about avoiding the pitfalls, building a community that elevates, not drains your success. I think this is such a juicy topic right now, and I cannot wait to get into it. But before we start, I'm going to kick it off by asking Mel, well, hey, how are you? She's already been...
Hey, Harmony.
Well, Mel's already, she's just taught an Ayurveda alchemist this morning. What was the topic? It was a really awesome topic. I wasn't on the call, but I know that we sent it to the crew.
Yeah, it was a really good topic. What it was titled, I can't remember, but it was emotional intelligence. So understanding your triggers and are you responding and reacting? And it was so good because we spoke about there, we understand and we focus so much emphasis on, our own triggers and our own limiting beliefs and our own reactions, but we're not aware of the more subtle people's projections on you that is not your belief or your thoughts, but it still triggers an unconscious wounding within you. And that is more harder to be aware of. So we went really deep into just bringing some awareness on that and sharing different examples and getting them to bring that awareness and work the muscles on identifying external triggers that is very unconscious and triggers those internal deep woundings that we don't normally see. So it was amazing.
Yeah. I remember it was, you called it the emotional GPS system, which I loved.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, it was really cool. And for those who don't know, Mel is the Ayurveda alchemist mindset mentor. So she does a monthly call with all of our students, and yeah, they love her. What else do you do, Mel?
What else do we do? I'm 5D energetics business mentor. And so just really, again, helping people just navigate themselves and evolve themselves to be able to create businesses just in that unity consciousness way in the 5D living.
Awesome. And what would you say your win is for the week?
So my win for the week, I would say, is teaching my children about finances, especially my son. He's really interested and he's about to turn 11 years old. And growing up, I had parents that were refugees and immigrants to this country, and they didn't have that emotional financial stability and information and education. So I really struggled growing up. So my win is going, okay, I'm going to break this cycle and really start educating with all the knowledge and education I have, and then purchasing him a book and getting him to watch YouTubes. So I'm starting to see the light bulb switch within him to understand money, and even at a young age, at 10 years old, how he can start generating and investing in money for his future. So that was a huge mama win for me this week.
I love that so much, because it isn't really something that I'm aware of that they teach them at school. And it's like, it's our currency of sort of how we get around in this world. So it's so important. I love that so much. We did the same for our boys, set them up with a little like shares portfolio. Teaching them about like long-term investing. So yes, they understand it to some degree, but yeah, it's really good, I think, to teach them that. Love that so much.
And Harmony, your biggest, I know you've got so much going on at the moment, but what is your biggest win that you feel, whether it's business, personal, what is your biggest win?
Yeah, I'm going to go with a personal win, because I do have a lot of things going on with business and uni and all of those type of things. And I wanted to make sure that I could break that up by doing some more adventurous and fun things that I haven't necessarily done before, or that I have done and really enjoyed. So me and my hubby have been going on a few different dates just to break up the week. We went up to Brisbane the other day to see the pop-up Titanic museum. I'm obsessed with the Titanic. I love that movie. And I just love that. I don't know, I love that era. I just feel so connected to that era. So it always like interests me. So we went and did that. And I went to the Pink Flamingo the other night with him as well, which is on the Gold Coast here. It's like do you call it like a Spiegel Club? Like it was acrobats and show. It was really like just so much fun. So just doing a bit of lighthearted, fun things together. I think that's my big win, just making time for that. So we
I
don't get
love
so.
that, like, calling in so much fun, and because you've got so much going on, I love how that you're actually carving out time to bring in joy and quality time with hubby as well, because, you know, it can get very challenging when you're doing all these things and you don't have time for your relationship. So, yeah, I love that.
Yeah, yeah, thank you. And yeah, on that,
Yep.
talking about, calling in the people that are important to you and building
Yeah.
a community that really can elevate you, because I have seen people call in the wrong community a lot of the time. And I have seen people call in the right community. And it doesn't always determine your success, but it
Mm,
has a huge part to do with it, because our community, our peers, they can really change the direction in which we go. They can manipulate our thought patterns, like you were talking about, triggers and stuff, right? You were just talking about that earlier when you were teaching the Ayurveda Alchemist program,
mm,
about how somebody else's triggers, they're not yours to own. That
yeah.
sometimes when you're surrounded with different members of the community, and if you even if you've built like this beautiful strong community that elevates you and sets you up for success, and you can sometimes let one or two people in that aren't conducive in that community, it's like it can just be an eruption, like a big volcano. And I just think it's really important to notice this. And also, I get a lot of questions of people in the health and wellness industry who are either really busy in their role, so they are really busy and they're caring for their clients and whatnot, and they haven't had time to go out and build a community, but they want to change maybe a little bit of the direction of their work or something like that, or they want to feel less lonely in their position, so they want to connect with the right people. Or people who are newer in the health and wellness industry and they haven't got a community yet, and they really want to know how can they build their community, because that's so important when it comes to our business as well. So I think this is a really cool topic to touch on, as it's been asked a lot actually in my DMs. So I'm
Yeah.
happy to bring it today.
Yeah. And I love it because and the reason why you've got people flooding your DMs talking about community, like, one of your core values is community, and that's infused within your personal brand, like so infused, and you've been bringing women together and cultivating community for years. So what's that word? There's no reason. You can see why your DMs are getting flooded with people asking about community. So I really want to pick your brain today and ask you, like, how, when you're building a strong aligned community around you and around your business, how it can enhance that, not only your success but the holistic success, and what are the key qualities should you be looking for when you're creating community with the people that you're surrounding yourself with?
Yeah. So for me, as you mentioned, it is one of my values. Building a
Mm,
strong aligned community, I think, is absolutely crucial for holistic success, both in your personal and your professional life, really. I mean,
mm,
in my own journey, I've seen firsthand how the right community can elevate not just your business, but your entire life. And I think in entrepreneurship, we we can get lonely. We can, if you're like the solo business owner and running your own business, you can get lonely. And so you really want the right people around you. And often they become your friends as well. Like, look at us.
yeah.
We're great friends. We started through, like,
For a
knowing
community.
each other through
Yeah.
business, right? It
Yeah.
wasn't that we were school mums together or anything like that. We
No.
connected through business and then we became really good friends.
Mm,
Um, so I've really been able to witness it from professional and a personal life. It's not just about surrounding yourself with people, but it's about surrounding yourself with the right people,
mm,
those who resonate with your values, support your goals, and challenge you to grow, but in the best way possible. And what
mm,
I see is, at first, if you are connecting in a community, say, well, we'll bring it to like the little entrepreneurial world, and you're connecting in this community and everyone's like your cheerleader, yay, go you, yay, awesome. But if you start to grow beyond the, you know, the other women in that community, their business maybe, or their goals, and they can see you elevating, it's like one of those Australian things, that tall poppy syndrome. It's quick to pull you back down, you know?
Yeah.
And so it can be really challenging to find the right people with the balance of supporting your goals whilst you're supporting them, knowing that you are, you know, you may be on the same path, but you're different people with different entities and have a different soul to your business, but also challenge you to grow in the best way possible. And from an Ayurvedic perspective, everything in our lives, including our communities, it contributes to our overall balance and well-being. Just as we're mindful of the food that we eat or the environments that we live in, we must also be really mindful of the people we allow in our inner circle, because everything that we use our senses for. So in Ayurveda, we talk about like everything we use our senses for will leave a subtle impression on the mind and the body. So if you're in a negative environment, or if you're eating like poor quality foods, you're taking that into your body, and that's leaving an imprint on your mind and your body. And if you're surrounded by people who aren't the right type of people for you, that's leaving subtle imprints on your mind and your body. And I know that, you know, like, for instance, each individual brings their own energy, and that collective energy can either uplift you or drain you. So I'm really cautious about the people now, and I haven't always been, but I am more cautious now of the people that I do bring into my community, because I know how goddamn important that is. Not especially, I won't say especially, but I'm very mindful in my paid community. So like the Ayurveda Alchemist Academy, who we do bring in there. And that's why I like to have calls with potential clients, so that I can see if they're the best fit, not for me and not always just for them, but also for our community, because as you said, it is one of like the biggest values I hold within my business. And for me in my earlier years, I know, just as an example, like I was definitely part of a community that was really high achieving, right? And it was awesome when I first entered this community. I was like, yeah, high achievers, you know, go Pitta, go me, go that dosha. And they were very competitive. And at first I didn't see the downfall of pitfalls of that competitiveness. So it's high achieving and competitive, but it was also very much so driven by external validation rather than internal fulfillment. While it initially, like at first, before I could see it for what it was, it really it pushed me to succeed for sure. But then I eventually realized that it was draining my energy and really pulling me away from my true purpose, because it was like that external validation. I wasn't deeply connected to myself, my purpose, being who I really needed to be. And it wasn't until I consciously shifted to a community that valued the same things as me, like holistic well-being, collaboration, spiritual growth, that I started to thrive in a more authentic way. And this was a community where success was measured not just by material gains, but by our emotional, our spiritual, and our physical health. And that really is, you know, what Ayurveda is all about. And so these key qualities I look for now in people are the ones that I surround themselves, which is authenticity, integrity, and a commitment to mutual growth. And I think that's really important, that mutual growth part, because you want a community that's not just about the receiver or the giver. It's like this mutual growth, even if it is like in a paid community. Okay, it's not just about me and my business, and it's not just about the students in it. It's a mutual growth community. And that's how we really get to blossom and to grow. These people who are just in it for themselves, but who you can tell it's like there's like fake facades. You want people who are genuinely want to see each other succeed. And sometimes that takes a while to pluck that out. So I think that's real. You've been in communities like that, right, Mel? Where we've had to sort of, you don't see it at first and you just sort of, have to pluck it out.
And it is like, I love that you shared that, because that is holistic success, right?
Mm,
The people that, and that's why I love the community that you've done, especially in the Ayurveda Alchemist, because it's such a holistic success. It's not just, and we get so caught up. And I was going through this, like being really mindful over the last couple of weeks, is really out there at the moment in the business world. It's all about um, getting that 6, 7 figures. Like that is the community. That's the mission. And you find yourself, like you're talking about, being in situations where like kind of high pitters, and you're driving for those external factors, and then you're feeling so misaligned. You're feeling pressured because that doesn't align with your values, like what you're talking about. Like my
mm,
values is about going out there and how much impact can I create, how many people can I impact, knowing that the money's going to come. And yes, it's important, but it's not, it's misaligned with the values. So I started feeling contraction. I've started feeling pressure. I started feeling like, oh my God. So I've really noticed that, and cutting that noise out. Like you said, pulling yourself out of those communities that aren't serving you. So it's not even just cultivating community for yourself, but it's what communities are you choosing to put yourself in, because that's going to determine, like you talk about, your growth. So
yeah.
I've been very mindful, and I love that you brought it up. I've been very mindful of the communities that are surrounding myself with. And it's also, communities is who you're following on social media, right? Because that
Yeah.
forms part of your community. And who are you following? Who are you listening to? Because that's forming part of your community. So I'm just, yeah, redefining success and clearing out my communities, because I want to surround myself with, like you, Hami, just people that bring you up, that really from your heart want to see you succeed and grow together. So I really love how you've cultivated the Ayurveda Alchemist, because it is truly a community where we cheer each other on, where we're there to support each other, not only in business, but in our spiritual and personal growth, and, in life, and in impact. How can we become better practitioners to go out there and create greater impact? So the community that you've cultivated, through your experience, you can really see that through Ayurveda. You're not here just saying these words. You've really learned and implemented it within Ayurveda Alchemists. And we are talking before this podcast how special the community is within that, and how amazing these women are. And it is, sometimes it's doing those things, like you said, it's having those discovery calls and go, you're quite not the right fit, because you're going to kind of be a weed in our beautiful garden. And, there is another fit out there for you, but this community isn't the right fit.
That's right. And I think the people you surround yourself are really like mirrors. They're going to reflect
Mm,
the energy and the mindset that you bring into the world. So
mm.
it's really important to, yeah, have really good, clean, shiny mirrors. But I think deep down, we all want to belong, right?
Yeah,
And it
yeah,
does. Sometimes it takes a little while to, again, notice that this isn't the group I belong to, or well, who do I have? And so I want to ask you, like, how can building a strong community or aligned strong community around you enhance your holistic success? No, that's,
mm,
but I want to ask you, like we've spoken about
mm,
that, what
yeah,
are some of the common traps that
mhm,
people fall into when they're building their community, and how can these pitfalls negatively impact their success? So we've reflected
mm,
on what it means to bring in the right people,
yep.
but what are some situations that can happen when we don't bring in the right people? Like, what do we need to be aware of?
Yeah. And I think this is very important, right? And this is about bringing that unconscious conscious. If we're consciously going out there and creating communities, like, we need to be conscious of those pitfalls. And this takes me back to when you asked me this question. I was thinking about in business, right? I'm like, I'm going to create a community of women that I can help serve and I can help elevate and, heal their woundings and ascend and wake up. But I created a community because I was so eager and so driven to just, and it started off with the Facebook group, get as many women as I can in there. Let's empower them, like get them in, get them in. And the pitfall for that is so many of them, probably about 85% of them, were not, one, aligned with my values, and two, didn't have that same mission. So I would jump on there and share things vulnerably, and they can be your greatest cheerleaders because they want to be seen as supportive. But is that going to enhance your success? With a few comments like, "Oh, that's great, Melissa. That was really good. Good on you." And the comments weren't about reflecting on their own personal evolution. It was just like, good job, Mel, for showing up and posting that video. It was just a cheerleader, but it was cheerleading because that's what they have to do as a friend or as an acquaintance,
Mm.
right? And
They
the
weren't
pitfall,
really they weren't really going on that journey with you. They weren't really like
yeah.
cheering you on from that right sort of place of, yeah, understanding where you're coming from.
Yeah, and growth, because there's that misalignment. So
Mm,
how I view now when I'm building a new community, I'm really finding the people that are on the same mission. It's a community for me when I'm talking about business is building a community of people with the same mission. We're creating a movement, we're creating impact. Who out there is on that same mission? Who out there has, like you talk about, Harmony, that has the same values, that has the same drive, like you spoke about with all that holistic success. I'm here for this mission. And if we can share that mission, the pitfall is you're creating community, but people don't know what you stand for. They will follow you to be nice, they follow you to be curious, they follow you to be judgmental, like, oh, what is she doing, kind of thing. But are they really following you? And it's not following you. Are they joining you in creating this movement? Because I don't want
mm,
to be a leader for nothing. I just want to find the people that we're creating a movement together and having that community that we can come and we can discuss the impact that we're going to create because we have the
mm,
same vision, we have the same mission, we have the same values, we have the same purpose.
mm,
So, one, just ensuring, is it coming from a place of ego to get as many people in? Or is it coming from a place of heart? I don't care how many people, but we're quality people because that is going to drive your success. It goes back to what Harmony was speaking about is having that the values together that you're growing together. So just
mm,
being mindful of if it's coming from a place of ego, and that's okay, an unconscious space of ego where we're wanting to build community to be seen as this leader, that is not going to help you in your business success, and that's not going to help you in your personal success. I have had to close that Facebook group down because even though it has hundreds of people in there, because it wasn't aligned. It's not helping me. It's not helping me serve. It's not helping me create impact. It's just feeding my ego, and I'm not here for feeding my ego. So
mm,
the pitfalls is, yeah, just noticing when you're creating community, just who are you calling in? What place is it coming from?
mm. And I think also it's not to be mistaken for being able to have healthy conversations where you disagree on certain
Mm,
aspects of life or opinions, because you can
mm.
have a really beautiful, healthy community where you have different viewpoints and opinions of things, but it's the way that you communicate that within your community and the way that you have that mutual respect for each other, mutual
Mm,
respect for their ideas. And again, at the very base is, even if their ideas and opinions are different to yours, you still want to see them grow in where you know their higher self is elevated, which might not be
mm,
how you view yourself. So I think it's really important to pull in people that have that growth mindset, also
mm,
have their own, they've got great boundaries with themselves and with others,
mm,
but they don't just follow along and agree with everything you say because that's what they think they have to do to fit in, but they're
mm,
actually contributing with real substance, not
mm,
obviously argumentative, but they can communicate their ideas and their visions, and they know that it's a safe space to be held in, because even if you have an opposing opinion, they're there to listen and you're there to listen and you're there to learn from each other. I think that's part of a community, is really being able to learn from each other as well, for sure.
yeah, 100%. And especially like in the community, in the health and wellness, and in the healers, and in the spiritual community, our whole mission is to serve people. Is our whole mission is to support people and heal people and give them tools for them to tap into their higher selves and live these beautiful, peaceful, vibrant lives. But us as leaders in the community, exactly what you said, Harmony, we express it in different ways because we have our own dharma, we have our own path, and to respect that and to still lift each other, because we all have different expressions of how we're here to serve. And it doesn't have to be exactly the same, but we're still on the same purpose, we're still on the same mission. And be open to learning from different people in our community. I love being surrounded by, the health and wellness and spiritual community, because I learned so much, not only about them and what their goals are and their missions and how and their medicine in the world, but I unlock so much within myself that it elevates me. It gives me a different perspective on things. I may not have to take it on as truth or embody it, but I can appreciate them so much more because I see them on such a deeper level. And I'm like, yes, you go. Like, you are finally, and I know you say it to me all the time, like, you see me stepping more and more into my higher self and go, Mel, I quite don't understand it on that level, but I know that that's that truth for you. And I'm like, you are my biggest cheerleader, and go, I am so happy for you. Like, go for it. And, like for me with you, I don't understand all that technical stuff, and it, like, I don't need to understand it, but I know that that is where your passion is, and that you can really help and transform people through that I want to be part of that community, that I want to lift you up with that and see you and cheer you on with that. So community isn't about, yes, we have the same values, but we're not carbon copy of people, that we're supporting our uniqueness.
Yeah, 100%. And like I said, there's the online community that we have, and then there's the in-person community that we have. And both of those really deserve to be nurtured. And if you are looking to find a community or to build a community, like I would say, put yourself out there. Like, we started the Women in Business and Beyond, which is a community of wonderful health and wellness leaders. And that's just by putting a call out there, like, who meets these values, who would like to come together and to learn these things. And you can be a leader in that aspect and call in your community, or you can just attend other communities that are already built, and you may need to jump around to a few till you find a few that you really resonate with, and that's absolutely fine. Like, you don't usually marry the guy that you first meet or the girl that you first meet on the first date. Like, you're like, yep, I'm going to marry you straight away. Usually you got to jump around. You got to find the right one that really resonates with you. And that's what it's all about, is finding your people. And don't be afraid to be, you want to be able to be yourself around those people, and they need to have that mutual respect for you as you are. So I think that's the biggest key to building community. And if you would like to join Mel or I's inner circle, our little community in the Ayurveda Alchemist, or even if you want to join just Mel and I as in our one-to-one business mentorship program, then please book in a free call with us, and we will definitely have a chat with you all about that. And hopefully welcome you in, because we want you. we want to call in the right people. So don't be shy, book a call, or even just reach out to us on Instagram. We would love to connect and meet you, because we're always looking for new, beautiful, high vibrational, energetic people to come in and be part of our community, because we know the importance of your energy to uplift everyone, and in the community as well. So please come along. Anything you would like to add, Mel?
No, the only thing I like to add is just go find your tribe. Find your tribe and just create magic in this world.
Well said. Boom, 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 boom. I think that's done. That's a wrap. Thank you so much, everybody, for listening. If you got something out of this episode, please go give us a bit of podcast love, give us a 5-star rating, and share it with anyone you feel may want to hear this message. And please, reach out to us on Instagram at Harmony Inspired Ayurveda and at I am Melissa Albers. Bye.